The phone rang at exactly 3:07 a.m., a sound that made my chest tighten instantly. The display showed a number that didn't exist yet. A combination of digits I had never seen and couldn't even register in my memory. My hand hovered over the receiver, unsure if picking it up would save me or doom me. But something inside told me I had no choice. When I answered, the voice on the other end was calm but urgent. Almost too calm for the words it spoke. "This call is your only warning," it said. "Something terrible is about to happen, and you're the only one who can stop it." I froze, trying to understand if this was a joke or some kind of prank. The voice repeated my full name perfectly, and that's when my blood ran cold. "Before we go any further, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay with Unblinking, because this story is going to unravel in ways you won't expect. The kind of fear this call brings doesn't end when you hang up. It follows you. It waits for the right moment. I tried to hang up, but the line wouldn't disconnect. The receiver felt glued to my hand. Static buzzed faintly, whispering words I couldn't understand, but somehow recognized. Every attempt to shut it off only made the voice clearer, more present. The message was simple but impossible. It warned me about an event that hadn't happened yet, something that would occur tonight in exactly 4 hours and 23 minutes. The voice instructed me to prevent it, or else people I loved would pay the price. I didn't know who to trust, or if this was even real. I grabbed a notebook and began writing everything down. Every detail, every warning, every emotion that the voice evoked. I quickly realized the caller knew things about me that no stranger could know. Secrets I had never told anyone were being whispered back at me through the static. By the time the first hour passed, my phone kept ringing, with no numbers showing, no ringtone, just a vibration that felt like it was inside my chest. My apartment seemed different, quieter, almost too quiet. Shadows moved in ways that didn't match the light, and I knew the countdown was real. The emergency call wasn't just a warning, it was a command. Every sound, every vibration, every whisper was guiding me toward a choice I wasn't ready to make. I didn't know if following it would save anyone or myself. The voice called again exactly 10 minutes later, even though I never ended the first call properly. This time it sounded closer, like it was no longer traveling through a phone line but standing somewhere in my apartment. It gave me an address I recognized immediately. It was the building across the street from mine. I looked out the window and saw the lights in that building flicker once. The voice told me that in 3 hours, something inside that building would change everything. It refused to tell me what, only that I would regret doing nothing. My hands were shaking as I wrote the address down again, even though I already knew it by heart. The call disconnected on its own, and the silence that followed felt louder than the ringing ever had. I checked my phone history, but there was no record of the call. No missed call, no active call. Nothing at all. It was like the conversation had never happened. I tried to convince myself it was stress or exhaustion playing tricks on me. I washed my face, drank water, and sat on the couch, staring at the clock. Every second felt heavier than the last. Time wasn't moving normally anymore. The phone buzzed again without ringing. A text message appeared with no sender name. It contained only one sentence, telling me I had already wasted too much time. That's when I noticed something terrifying. The timestamp on the message was 2 hours ahead of my current time. My phone said it was sent from the future. If you're still watching Unblinking right now, don't look away, because this is where denial stops working. I wasn't being warned anymore. I was being tracked. I grabbed my keys and stepped outside, the night air feeling thick and unnatural. The street was quiet in a way that didn't feel safe. Even the usual city noise seemed muted, like the world was holding its breath. Every step toward that building felt like I was walking into a decision I couldn't undo. As I reached the entrance, my phone vibrated again. The screen lit up with a new message. It said I was already late. The lobby of the building was empty, but the lights were on, as if someone had just passed through. The air smelled sharp and metallic, the kind of smell that makes your head ache. My phone vibrated again before I could take another step. The screen showed a countdown that had already started. The voice returned, not through the speaker this time, but directly in my head. It told me the event was closer than predicted. It said the future had adjusted because I was listening. That was the first time I understood this call wasn't fixed. It was reacting to me. I asked what would happen if I walked away. The voice paused, almost like it was considering whether to answer. Then it said walking away was already accounted for. The countdown continued without changing. If you're still with Unblinking, stay focused now, because this is where control disappears. From this moment on, every choice only changes how bad things get. There is no version where nothing happens. The elevator doors opened on their own as I approached. Inside, the panel was different from any elevator I'd seen. There were no numbers, only times. One of them matched the countdown on my phone exactly. I stepped inside, and the doors closed before fear could stop me. The elevator didn't move up or down. It moved forward, like space itself was folding. My ears popped as the lights dimmed. The voice told me the emergency wasn't an accident or a crime. It was me. It said the future had identified me as the trigger point. Whatever happened next would start because I chose to answer the call. The countdown reached its final minute. The elevator slowed as if it had reached a destination. My phone buzzed one last time with a single message. It said this was my last chance to decide who gets hurt. The elevator stopped without a sound, and the doors opened into a room that looked exactly like my apartment. Every detail was perfect, from the couch to the clock on the wall. The only difference was the silence, deep and unnatural. It felt like a place that existed only to wait. The voice spoke again, finally losing its calm tone. It told me this was the future, a few hours from now, after everything went wrong. It showed me flashes of police lights, broken glass, and people screaming my name. I understood then that the emergency wasn't something I had to stop. It was something I was meant to cause. The voice explained that the call was created to guide me, not save me. Every warning pushed me closer to the moment that would trigger the event. Fear, panic, and urgency were the tools it needed. Answering the call was the first step. I backed away, shaking, and tried to refuse. The voice told me refusal was already part of the timeline. The room began to blur as the countdown reached 0. I screamed for it to stop, but the future didn't listen. I woke up on my apartment floor with my phone buzzing beside me. The clock showed 3:07 a.m. exactly. For a moment, I thought it was over, that it had all been a nightmare. Then I saw the missed call notification. The caller ID showed my own number. The voicemail icon blinked slowly, waiting. I didn't press play, because I already knew what it would say. If this story unsettled you, comment below and tell me what you would do if you got a call from your future self. Share this with someone who never answers unknown numbers, and stay with Unblinking. Because some warnings don't come to save you. They come to make sure it happens.